you what, bin men can be really freaking stupid sometimes. Morning. They left me bin in front of the car. So I know there's a few cars on the drive, but really? As you can see, things are a little bit chaotic this morning. And I wouldn't say I'm late as such, but I was going to grab a coffee, which I now... I don't know, I don't really know if I've got time to grab a coffee. Depends. First, it's good. I don't know if I've got enough time to grab a coffee and still be down time. So, what are you doing? So yeah, it's really throwing me for a loop this morning because normally I'll be up, shut that now, normally I'll be up and about and at work by now. In fact, to be honest, this kind of time I'll be pretty much loading up the truck. So yeah, hopefully you can see me alright though. But yeah, I'm leaving the village when it's getting light. Normally it's dark. So yeah, anyway, hope you guys are alright. I thought I'd record this bit now because I don't know if I'm allowed to record with the training company, because obviously I'm now doing it today. I'm doing my class 1 training. So yeah, I don't know if they're. I did email the. Oh god, now there's a bloody crop sprayer in the way. Not going to get a coffee, am I? But yeah, I emailed the company and said, this is what I do. You know, we're gaining new followers every day, which we are. We're up to 416, I think, which is really good. So thank you to you guys first and foremost. I said, look, you know, I do this YouTube channel. Would it be possible to record? And they emailed back and they said, well, it really depends on the trainer. And that was kind of it, really. I mean, there wasn't, you know, as far as the company is concerned, they didn't really say anything, so I'm assuming they're okay with it. Like I say, it depends on the trainer I've got, whether they are happy to be either on film or they're you know, hearing them on film. I don't mind not filming them, but it would be really nice to film something, whether it's the reverse manoeuvre, which I know that you do on your own, and yeah, my brain is still catching up this morning, so I'm sorry if I go quiet for a second. Because I don't know what's wrong with me this morning. I don't think I'm getting going this morning. So yeah, it's going to make out to be a really good vlog or a really terrible one. One of those, possibly the latter. Oh dear. And I planned on having a McDonald's breakfast this morning as well. Secretly. Shh. Didn't tell the wife. She gets annoyed with having McDonald's breakfast because she likes them as well. But that all went out the window. And the problem was I couldn't find that. The GoPro. It was on the sofa and somebody else had tidied it up. And it vanished. I told my wife, I was like, I need my GoPro. I can't not film today. It's my first day of training. Tomorrow, if I lose it tomorrow, then that's my own stupid fault. But she found it for me, and it did have some charge in it, and it's got I don't know how long left on it, about just under an hour I think, so I can't be chatting for too long unless I delete some files on it already. And just to put that in perspective, it's a 128 gig card, so there's a lot of film on there that I still haven't edited, which I'll have told you from the last video, because I'm so behind the videos, it's ridiculous. But, bit of news, get the new PC. So, in theory, they should be quicker to not only create, but also to render as well. Because my PC at the moment, I mean, it's not slow. I mean, I'll play most decent games, to be honest with you, and I'm rocking 4K. So, for those of you who are technically minded in the area of computing, you'll know what I mean. basically rendering 4 times the resolution of a standard computer on hardware that's about 7 years old. But it does alright. Anyway, I diverge and I don't have the disk space to... disk space, there we go. Memory card space. Whatever. I don't have the space to waffle on too much. Anyway, you're really here for the Class 1 stuff. So, I'm doing my Class 1 today, and tomorrow, and Wednesday, and Thursday. And I got my test Thursday. So basically I'm training from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So for 4 hours. And on Thursday I've got the test, I think it's like 10:30 or something like that. So I'll have a couple of hours training, half an hour waffling about and whatnot, and then we'll do the test. Now, I'm feeling pretty nervous, and this is going to be really strange because I've kind of already done this bit. It's just I've got a bend in the middle. So it's a difficult one to kind of piece together because I have driven an Arctic tractor unit before. Admittedly it was in the yard, but I moved it across the road. And you'll be like, well Adam, that's not an Arctic, it didn't have a trailer on it. No, I do understand that. But if you've never driven an Arctic before, or a tractor unit before, then you'll know that most of them are a lot higher than your standard Class 2. And they're also wider in the cab. And I spoke about this before in my last video, I think. The cabs are actually a lot wider, even though the truck is the same width. Because for some reason on Class 2, I mean this isn't always the case, but a lot of the times, an 18 tonner or under, the cabs tend to be narrower than the body of the truck. Which is kind of annoying because there's no need for it to be like that. It just means that you've got to have mirrors the same width anyway, because you've got to see behind you. So I don't really know why they do it. Probably to save money or something, I don't know. So whenever you get a standard Class 2, like a 15 tonner or an 18 tonner or even a 7.5 tonner, you'll notice that if you look at the cab, it's narrower than the body. So when you get an Arctic unit, generally speaking, they tend to be the same width as the trailer you're pulling, which means they feel bigger and they feel wider. Now thankfully at work I've been driving a white MAN, which is a really long 18 tonner, and I mean really long, and we use that to go down to Stoke-on-Trent, and I've driven that no end of times. Now the problem with that truck is not only is it pretty wide, it feels like I'm driving an Arctic unit because it's really high up. There's like 3 steps to get into it. I mean, we're talking, when I was doing the yeah, for some reason it just randomly stopped recording. Anyway, I was on about the white MAN. So yeah, I've driven that before. Its turn and circle is absolutely atrocious, and it's really long. So getting around roundabouts is a bit of a task, and I have to take things a lot wider because of its length. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be taking the same lines in that as I need to in the Arctic to allow the trailer to follow me around things like roundabouts and stuff like that. Because obviously you have to take things a lot wider. Now, a lot of the guys online, I've asked for some tips and things like that, and they've all said, like on the reverse manoeuvre, which is the other thing that's really bothering me, to take your time, little adjustments, literally walking pace, because what they don't want you to do is to try and catch a trailer as you're reversing. And by that I mean, when you begin to turn a trailer in reverse, what you'll find is you'll have to turn the wheels on the cab to straighten the cab back up in order to make the adjustments to turn the other way to stop the trailer continually going around in a big circle. And I've heard of the phrase "a point of no return," where you try to turn the cab quick enough and it just isn't enough, so then you have to pull forward and use a shunt. Now, of course, I don't want to get in that situation because A, I'll be completely miles away from the box, or the garage, as they call it. And if I'm doing things like that, then I've really fluffed up somewhere. So, but my point is that people are saying, you know, small adjustments, little movements on the steering wheel, you know, like you do when you go around corners, and you know, or even when you're going down a straight road with a very slight bend in it, you just make that smallest little adjustment on your steering wheel just to get yourself back in line again. Things like that, I imagine. And the other thing is, I really want a coffee. No, the other thing is that I'm kind of worried about roundabouts. Now, in a class 2, I'm not bothered by it. When you're out on the road and you pull up to a really busy roundabout, I mean, look at the roundabouts in Norwich on the ring road. I mean, there's a fair few roundabouts for a ring road anyway. And at this sort of time in the morning, they tend to be quite busy, or from now onwards. So getting out of a roundabout in a slow, big, heavy vehicle can be quite difficult, especially when you've got a stream of traffic that's going in one particular direction. And this roundabout here at Acle, this is the roundabout. I'm heading towards Norwich. The Acle Straight is that way. The cars are coming off the A47 to my right. And sometimes, of course, this time in the morning, you've got a constant stream of traffic. So you'll find it a bit tricky to get out. And of course, if you cut someone up on a roundabout, you fail. So it's really difficult in an Arctic because they don't go anywhere. And for those of you who don't know, they are, I believe they are, Arctic units and Class 2s are loaded up for training. Which basically means you're not driving an empty lorry, because you need to feel some way in order to know what it's going to be like when you suddenly pass your test and go, oh, this is weird. And you know, you use the brakes and they're not there because the weight's still pushing you forwards. But anyway, so yeah, roundabouts are really bothering me because I don't really know. I mean, when you're approaching a roundabout, and let's say you've got, I mean, take the NDR for example, that's got a ton of roundabouts. Like every single junction is a roundabout. So, and I know that we'll go that way because they've got where they do their reverse manoeuvre isn't at the yard that I'm now heading to. It's at the yards that they've got a few miles away. I mean, to be honest, it's effectively the other side of Norwich. What the hell is going on here? There seems to be an unusual amount of traffic where I wouldn't expect it to be. I don't normally see this traffic, you see, because I'm normally at work and gone by now. Maybe it's just, yeah, it's probably just all the traffic. This is annoying. I'll leave it earlier tomorrow. But yeah, roundabouts, obviously I'm in an Arctic unit, they don't go anywhere particularly fast. And because of their length, getting out on a roundabout with an Arctic, it's quite tricky. You know, I don't want to be cutting anyone up, but you will have to force somebody to slow down, I can guarantee it. It's just how about you do it. How about you do it? How you go about it and how you do it, should I say. So yeah, that's one thing that's bothering me. The rest of the going forwards doesn't bother me that much, to be honest, because, as I say, I've driven that white MAN, and I'm pretty sure you take very similar circles around corners, junctions, as you do in that, because, well, you have to, because it's so long. But anyway, my training should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping my my trainer, is a good person and friendly and patient, But we should be fine. I mean, I was dead nervous. I mean, go and watch my training videos for class 2, because I was like a nervous wreck on test day. Went out in the morning and that kind of relaxed me, but there was a few things that I fluffed up on that morning, and that got me a bit nervous. But I always smashed the reverse. I mean, we kind of cheated because he had a reversing camera, but he said it's not cheating if it's installed on the truck, which he's right, but the Artics aren't going to have that. And of course the reverse manoeuvre for the Artics is a lot different, because you can't see what you're doing. One of my biggest problems I've had is knowing, and this is driving class 2 at work, is knowing how far my arse is away from something before I hit it. I've never actually hit anything, I don't think. Hit skip once, I think, but that was only, I knew I was close, so I was really crawling, and suddenly went, but yeah. So I'm hoping there's a marker or a technique for knowing when I'm in the box. But I'm sure it will make it all clear. I mean, they want you to pass, don't they? So can't complain at that, I suppose. You know, as a training company, they want a good reputation of having a lot of their students pass. So hopefully I'm one of them. We'll see. Anyway, I definitely don't have time for coffee, which is really annoying. Like, really annoying. I was really needing a coffee this morning, and I'm not going to get one. Because I'm probably going to be late now as well, because of this traffic. So, that's my own fault. I should definitely leave earlier tomorrow. Probably even 7:15, give myself 45 minutes. But, so yeah, there you go. My class 1. It's my first day today. I'll obviously do a video on the way home to let you know how I got on with my training and that. See if I ran anyone over or hit a curb. I mean, I'm going to hit curbs, obviously. You know, someone said something interesting to me on Facebook. Was it last night? He said, make sure you... Yes, thank you, phone. I know I'm literally doing a video about my class 1 training. You don't need to remind me. Someone said it's something interesting to me. They said if you're going to fail, do it while you're training so you can correct it. And that, at first I thought, well, yeah, it's obvious. I don't want to purposely mess up on my test just to see what would happen. But then I thought about it and I thought, well, yeah, I don't plan on failing, but if I'm gonna purposely mess up to figure out the way to resolve that problem, that kind of makes sense. I suppose it's something like you got the reverse manoeuvre, and you want to see what happens if you turn too much and then you can't chase that turn. Then do it on the training. So I suppose it kind of makes a bit of sense, but yeah, a lot of you have had very good advice for me. Let's just hope I can remember it and put it into practice, because it's all well and good reading something or watching a video, but until you actually do it for yourself when you're out on the road where you've got situations, you know, road safety and car drivers who have literally no idea what they're doing, then it's a very different thing. And if you're doing your class 1 training soon, you want to keep watching these videos, because you might not want to do it. With me anyway. Anyway, I better go and fight this traffic and drive a little quicker, and I'll see you when I come out of a training centre, or you'll see some footage from my training. But I haven't got a lot of battery left, so we'll see. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, guys, just now leaving the training centre, and finished my first 4 hours. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. I mean, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I don't really know what to say, and that seems a bit weird because I've been looking forward to it. I think I'm just a bit. I'm still taking it all in, if you know what I mean. We did a reverse. We went up to the area where they reverse was in a different place to where you pick up the truck from. So it was get us roundabout. It's a bit of a pain in the arse to get out, this one is. Just put your foot down a bit. But no, we went up to the, it's just a bit of concrete in the middle of nowhere really. And he set up the cones which were in the trailer, and I had a couple of goes at it. He told me exactly what I needed to do. And I think we did a reverse about 4 or 5 times. And I didn't hit a cone or anything like that, and basically I did quite well, and he said that we did okay, and you know, that was good. I enjoyed that. The reverse was one of those things that was really bothering me, as you know, so to actually go there and do a reverse and everything else was really good, and I think that put my mind at rest a little bit. We did make a couple of mistakes, and that, you know, that's absolutely fine, because that's what the training's for. You know, you make mistakes and you deal with it. But I think the worst part actually was when we got back to the yard. There was one issue we had with the roundabout. I was in the wrong lane. I have no idea what I was doing or what I was thinking. That was completely my fault. And you know, that was just, I only did that once. That was fine. And then when we got back to the yard, we were trying to pull it. There was, I mean, obviously outside their training centre, they got loads of trucks, you know, parked outside, because the changeover time is about 12 o'clock. So, you know, we got back just after 12, I would say, just before. So, but obviously when there's loads of trucks everywhere, we parked literally right outside their building, if you like. And I don't know whether it's the way he explains it, and you know, and I don't understand, because I can be a bit thick at times. I can be a bit stupid. So he's trying to tell me something. Now I'm not quite understanding what he's trying to tell me. So we jumped backwards and forwards a few times, trying to get the truck on the pavement, because the road isn't wide enough to have it parked on the road. If it was, we probably would have been all right. But yeah, it took us about 4 or 5 times to try and get it on the pavement. And one thing I had noticed is that in your mirrors, because obviously you're not dead centre in the middle of the truck, you look at the mirrors and they're set the same. Obviously it's going to look the same out of each mirror. So it looks like you look in your left hand mirror and it looks like the trailer is coming off the curb, and you look in your right hand mirror and it looks like it's doing the same thing. It's really weird. It looks like the trailer's almost like a triangle. It's very difficult to explain, to be honest with you. And I need to be in that lane. So, you know, he's telling me to put left lock on, and I'm like, really? It's not gonna go where you want it to. But obviously, you know, I'm I'm going to listen to him, because he's my trainer and he knows what he's talking about. His name's Julian, East Coast Driver Training, and yeah, he's a good lad. He has said that I'm allowed to record some footage tomorrow. Didn't do it today because, well, we just sort of got off straight away and basically got on with it, if you know what I mean. So, and I ended up being 15 minutes late because of traffic and stuff like that. So he said, you know, can we get there quarter of an hour early tomorrow? So I've got to get there for 7:45, which is fine. You know, it's no problem. So yeah, so we can do some recording tomorrow, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm so chuffed. I don't know exactly what kind of footage I'm going to get. I'm going to try and get some footage of the me in the cab, and you can see how I'm taking corners and things like that. And I'm trying to find McDonald's, but I can't find. Oh, you're going to come straight across there, are you, Mr. Bus? Thank you very much. KFC's there, so where's McDonald's? I'm having a McDonald's, because I'm hungry. But I don't know where it is. mean, KFC sounds good, but where's McDonald's? I must be being thick because I can't find it. I haven't seen a big M either. Unless it's on the other side. Well, there's a cost. Let's go in here because. Sorry, I'll be with you in a minute. Once I know exactly where it is, it says that I'm at Longwater, Norwich, Cossey kind of area. Let's go straight over. I bet. Right, let's just chuck it here while I figure out what the hell I'm doing. So yeah, we did all right. We you know, I feel more confident now. I'm still. We went round Norwich and we did some ring road stuff. We drove a little bit more in the city centre, and you know, I think he took me around a variety of places to sort of see how I got on. But we did all right. I mean, I didn't hit a curb or anything like that. We didn't mount a curb or, you know, anything serious. It's just about it's roundabouts and corners. Anything where I have to turn the wheel. You have to be careful how you take you know, these sort of corners, because the truck I drove, I'll put a picture on screen of it now actually. The truck I drove was a Volvo. It's quite old, but it's pretty immaculate. I mean, outside it looks brand new. But it's got a stumpy little trailer. It's not really stumpy. It's just a bit shorter than a standard trailer. So that means that it goes around corners a bit easier. He did say that one of the other trailers they've got, which was also out at the same time, had rear steer on it, so it just goes around the corners so easy. But that means it makes my job a little bit more difficult, which is not a problem. I mean, I actually prefer it that way, because I'll get the skills to be able to pull anything. You know, if I do training in a test in a rear steer, or, you know, really what they call an urban trailer, which is really short, then yeah, it's probably easy to pass my test. That's one thing, but at the same time, I'm not developing those skills. If I then suddenly go out in a full-length trailer with no rear steer, you know, and try and take it around corners, and then wonder why the trailer's hanging off the curb and I've run over a traffic light. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's better that way. But we did good. We did good, and that's the main thing. You know, I didn't do anything serious. And that was it, really. I mean, maybe I'll explain better tomorrow, but you'll hopefully you'll be able to see tomorrow exactly what I'm talking about. You just have to take the lines when you're approaching a roundabout. You have to be really on the side of the road, you know, far over to the right hand side, so that you give the traffic in the other lane, if you're going right, you know, enough room to get past, because you don't want to start, you know, shrinking the gap that a car is already in, and all of a sudden you've had a collision, and you know, you don't want that. So you really have to think a little bit harder when you're in an Arctic, and I think that it's something that will come naturally. I did find that when I was driving a bit more, sort of towards around 11 o'clock, so by that time I'd driven for an hour or so, and I was starting to do things more naturally. And so it's the same thing in a rigid. Like when I go out in a rigid now, it's just I was wang it around the roundabouts. You know, I drive it like I drive a car. If you see what I mean, you know, some of the stuff becomes second nature. Whereas in an Arctic, I'm sort of learning from scratch again, in a way. You know, I'm used to being high, I'm used to it being a bit wider, you know, things like that. And his learning style is a lot different to how I was taught with Hamilton's, which is fine, you know, because everyone has a different training style, but I've just got to get used to it. And I think that, you know, tomorrow will be easier, the day after will be even easier, and hopefully by then I'll be test ready and smash the test on Thursday. So there you go. I've waffled on for like nearly 11 minutes anyway. If I think of anything else on the way home, once I've actually found where McDonald's is, I'll record again. But in case I don't, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, because it really helps, and you get to see my videos as well. Hit the bell icon, because obviously you want to make sure that you stay tuned for the next few videos, and then find out if I pass on Thursday. So wish me luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So yeah, ta-ra.